to another one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lotta, and today I want to show you how to make this yummy blueberry streusel cake that's perfect for a quick and easy summer recipe. Now the first thing we need to make is the dough that's going to go at the very bottom. So for that you're going to need 200 grams of softened butter with a good splash of vanilla extract, 150 grams of sugar with a good pinch of salt, 4 room temperature eggs, 200 grams of all-purpose flour with 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and around 100 milliliters of milk. Now, like with all of our cake doughs, we're simply going to whisk together our butter, sugar, vanilla, and salt until it's really creamy and fluffy before we add in our eggs one at a time. Now that all of our eggs are incorporated, we can alternate between adding our dry ingredients and our milk until we get a nice smooth dough. Now depending on the type of flour you use, as well as how long you let your butter and egg mixture whisk up, you might need to use a little bit more milk or a little bit less milk, but around 100 to 200 milliliters of milk should do. Now you just want to mix your dough until the flour is completely incorporated and then stop because you don't want to over mix it. And then you're going to want to have kind of this consistency. It's kind of fluffy, but it's still spreadable and looks kind of like a cloud. So now all we're going to do is spread this into our pre-lined baking tray until it's super nice and even, and then we can move on. Now, it wouldn't be a blueberry cake without blueberries, so I'm going to be using 500 grams of fresh blueberries, and I'm going to give them a toss with 1 tablespoon or 10 grams of flour. And that'll just help any of the moisture that escapes the blueberries to kind of thicken up, and hopefully it won't make our cake super soggy. That being said, I'm going to give this a quick toss and then spread it onto our cake layer. Now the last thing we're going to make for this cake is the streusel that's going to go on top. So for that you're going to need 100 grams of softened-ish butter, 50 grams of sugar with a good pinch of salt, 150 grams of all-purpose flour, and last but not least 50 grams of ground hazelnuts. You could also use almonds or pecans or really any nuts that you want, or leave it out completely. But I think it gives a nice different texture and a different flavor. Now if you're feeling a little fancy, you could also add a pinch of cinnamon or some vanilla extract, but I think I'm going to leave it with just the basics today. That being said, we're basically going to add all of this into a little mixing bowl and then whisk it up really quickly until we get kind of like a crumbly texture, and then stop. Now you don't want your butter and everything else to completely become like a paste. Then it'd be hard to just sprinkle it on top of your dough, which is not what you want. So again, quickly mix it up until you get kind of like a crumbly texture, and that's it. Now this can go into the oven that's been preheated to 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 to 50 minutes. Now you want to make sure that the blueberries are nice and cooked through and they're kind of bubbling, and the top is nice and golden brown. That's when you know it's ready. cake cool off completely before transferring it and dusting it with some powdered sugar. So that's everything for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, you could give it a thumbs up or write me a comment down below. And as always, the whole recipe is going to be in the description box as well.